Good morning, this is Tijuana, Nurse TJ, and today is October 1st, 2021, and it is last night was my first night of week 4 of my 8-week contract here at Grady Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. And the good news is that I was offered an extension, which I accepted for another additional 4 weeks at these fabulous rates. And I'm just excited because each week I'm, getting better with it. One of the cons of travel nursing is, you don't really get that much of an orientation. You kind of hit the ground running. They kind of just go, you're going to go over here, and then you're just expected to do the work. So it can be kind of overwhelming in the beginning when you get to a new facility and that you've never been to before, and you're counted on to take care of patients. But the good news is that patient care is universal. It's the same wherever you go. The only thing that you would run into a situation with is not the politics per se, but how they policy and procedure. So that's one thing that you'd have to be aware of. And in the beginning, I just recommend that you ask a lot of questions, and depending on which hospital you're at. Some, like this hospital, is the first hospital that thank you for coming, thank you for helping. They're extremely appreciative. However, it is a ton of work, so it is probably why they're so appreciative, because it is a lot of work. But a lot of hospitals the staff is bitter at the travelers because of the difference in the pay. However, a lot of hospitals have been given some bonuses to their staff to keep them motivated, because a lot of staff nurses are quitting and choosing to travel because you're making 2 to 3 times, sometimes 4 times the amount that you would make, and then you get paid weekly too. So that was one of the good things. Like today is Friday and of course there was another huge deposit into my checking account from the work that I've been doing here. And so of course when they offered to extend, I accepted graciously. But I do want to say that I'm learning a lot, because these are real traumas. This is Grady is a level 1 trauma. It's huge, 900 plus beds, and I don't even know how many ICU beds. I work in the SICU, surgical ICU, and I want to say today to everybody out there, people who are watching, wear your seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt. This is 2021, and it's amazing how many people get these motor vehicle accidents, these MVAs with the unrestrained driver. It doesn't make sense, that people are being ejected from the car, and you usually end up with 1 or 2 injuries, if not both. One being you could, hit your head and get some serious brain damage, and spend the rest of your remaining time as a vegetable, vegging out, and not even aware that you were part of an accident, and it's not a good outcome. The other outcome that I see a lot is paralysis. Either you're going to be paralyzed somewhere, neck down. I've had a bunch of those. Paralyzed kind of from the, depending on where you get it, if you're lucky enough to get a T, this thoracic area, you may, have some weak, limited movements of your hands. But as far as being able to do things you were doing before, you're not. And something as simple as wearing your seatbelt, so please, people, wear your seatbelts, especially in the South. People where I'm coming from, Alabama, one in particular, I don't know why folks feel like it's their God-given right to not wear your seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say about that. But that's all I see. I'm just getting every day motor vehicle accident with an ejected driver, and like I said, it's always a sad situation. But something as simple as a seatbelt. And prime example, okay, so, and then two, this is the reason why young men anyway, auto insurance is super, more expensive than females, because out of all of the unrestrained drivers, they were all men. And then too, one of the last ones was an older man. He was my age, 50 years old, and didn't wear a seatbelt and was ejected, and now he's paralyzed from the waist down and has very limited movement of hands, where it's not a lot, but because didn't wear the seatbelt. And then there was a female who came in from a car accident, and she just had the bruises across the lap and shoulder because she was restrained. Her condition was not critical. However, we did monitor her, but because she was wearing her seatbelt, she was able to still talk and move and walk. She could do things. She was extremely sore, but at least she's here and cognitive of being here. So anyway, so let me kind of focus here on, I wanted to talk about some pros and cons of travel nursing. I did do a video a few months back on pros and cons of travel nursing, and the number one was being the the money. It's super duper exciting, and especially nowadays where they have the compact license, and your compact license is covering up to 36 different states. So if you're lucky enough to live in the South, you are connected to multiple states. Like I said, I grew up in Southern California, and California's kind of like along the coast, so it's not like you can drive 2 hours and be in another state. Like, the closest state we've got to us is Nevada, and that's like, 4 hours or so, 3.5, 4 hours to get there. But, you can drive for hours and still be in California. But the good thing about being in the South, you can drive for, I'm only 2 hours, a little over 2 hours away from Montgomery, Alabama, where I'm coming from. And if I can drive 4 hours and be in South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, like these states are kind of all Mississippi, these states are a few hours away, and they are all covered under the compact license. So I could, pretty much go all over. I did choose Atlanta because I was thinking I wanted to come out here and get part of the excitement. I have since discovered that I do prefer the the quietness of a small town like Montgomery, where it's not that many people and still a lot of nature. Like, I go home now on my off days and I really enjoy listening to the birds, the cardinals waking me up, and the locusts and all the little woodland creatures, singing those beautiful, beautiful noises, not noises, but beautiful music. The thing that changed for me is that now that it's starting to, get dark and daylight saving time is soon approaching, I did start driving. So last night I drove to work because I don't want to be walking in this here area with these homeless people. Next to my ionic foot baths, it's getting out some toxins. I just did my reflexology and feel great. Getting desperate. One of the most important things I'd like to encourage everybody is to make sure you're doing like self-care. It's one of the things I've been making sure that I have been doing now that I'm making all this money. But self-care, like last week I got a colonics and a ionic foot bath. I'll kind of show you a clip of the foot bath. I didn't, excuse me, take the colonics, which I will the next time I go, because I want to start really promoting cleansing and, you know, good health and all that good stuff. And to Wednesday, I got an Asian massage and it was dynamite. It felt really good, and I'm excited. I can't wait to go back, you know. And I just really love pampering myself because it's good for your mental health and your physical condition. And the other thing that I started working out again. I went to the gym, and now that I'm kind of got a schedule, a routine here, I'm gonna go back to implementing my exercise and all that good stuff. So if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe, and leave some comments up in there. I'm gonna put together a Q&A from questions that I've been asked, you know, people around and stuff like that. But again, I'm still talking about travel nursing. This week I did come back to my first little condo, the one with the pretty yellow and that beautiful little wall over there. Because if y'all saw that last video, the one place that wasn't so clean. Yeah. So anyway, I like this spot here. It's been pretty good. But tune in for next time, and I'll post y'all up. And I'm about to hit the shower and go to sleep and get ready to do this all over again tonight. Peace.